You just don't want to go to sleep right now, huh, Bubs? But you have a cold and you just don't want to go to sleep right now, huh, Bubs? But you have a cold and you're teething, so you've been a little cranky, but you still been cool. Yeah. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Why aren't you saying nothing for the camera? You just don't want to go to sleep right now, huh, Bubs? But you have a cold and so my son is sick for the first time. He's 7 months and he's never had a cold or any fever, but just yesterday he started getting a runny nose and now he's coughing and he's sneezing so much, and on top of that he is teething. So like he's not really sleeping right now. He's really fussy and I'm so tired, but I'm so glad my sister's home to watch him for me now so I can get a little bit of sleep. But my poor baby, I hate seeing him like that. But I am so happy that I get to take care of him. I love him so much. So my son is sick for the first time. He's 7 months and he's never had a cold or any fever, but just yesterday he started getting a runny nose and now he's coughing and he's sneezing so much, and on top of that he's teething. So like he's not really sleeping right now. He's really fussy and I'm so tired, but I'm so glad my sister's home to watch him for me now so I can get a little bit of sleep. But my poor baby, I hate seeing him like that. But I am so happy to take care of him. So my son is sick for the first time. He's 7 months and he's never had a cold or any fever, but just yesterday he started getting a runny nose and now he's coughing and he's sneezing so much, and on top of that he's teething. So like he's not really sleeping right now. He's really fussy and I'm so tired, but I'm so glad my sister's home to watch him for me now so I can get a little bit of sleep. But my poor baby, I hate seeing him like that. But I am so happy that I get to take care of him. I love him so much.
Okay, so I'm trying something different here. I'm boiling water. I'll make myself another coffee. All right. So, what I want to do is cut to the chase. I'm still working with just the one computer. Can't listen to this. Okay, I don't know what I was doing. I'm going to try that one more time. Only this time, I'm going to turn off my mic.
You just don't want to go to sleep right now, huh, Bubs? But you have a cold. And you just don't want to go to sleep right now, huh, Bubs? But you have a cold. And you're teething. So you've been a little cranky. You just don't want to go to sleep. You still been cool right now, huh, Bubs?
Yeah. How you doing?
But you have a cold.
Why did you say that for the camera?
So you've been a little cranky. You just don't want to go to sleep. You just don't want to go to sleep right now, huh, Bubs?
How you doing?
But you have a cold.
Why
You
did you
have
say
a
that
cold.
for the camera?
So you've been a little cranky. You just don't want to go to sleep. You just don't want to go to sleep right now, huh, Bubs?
How you doing?
But you have a cold.
Why
You
did you
have
say
a
that
cold.
for the camera?
Sick for the first time. He's 7 months, but he's never had a cold or any fever. But just yesterday he started getting a runny nose, and now he's coughing and he's sneezing so much. And on top of that, he's 7 months, but he's never had a cold. He's not really sleepy right now. He's really fussy. I'm so tired. Just yesterday he started getting a runny nose, and now he's coughing and he's sneezing so much.
My poor baby, I hate that.
He's 7 months, but he's never had a cold.
He's not really sleepy right now.
He's really fussy. I'm so tired. So my son is sick for the first time. He's 7 months, but he's never had a cold or any fever. But just yesterday he started getting a runny nose, and now he's coughing and he's sneezing so much. And on top of that, he's 7 months, he's never had a cold. He's not really sleepy right now. He's really fussy. So just yesterday he started getting a runny nose, and now he's coughing and he's sneezing so much.
My poor baby, I hate
that. He's 7 months, he's never had a cold. He's not really sleepy right now. He's really fussy. So just yesterday he started getting a runny nose, and now he's coughing and he's sneezing so much.
My poor baby, I hate
that. He's 7 months, he's never had a cold. He's not really sleepy right now. He's really fussy. So just yesterday he started getting a runny nose, and now he's coughing and he's sneezing.
Oh my lordy, lordy, lordy. And here I thought I had that problem solved. But it doesn't look like it. Okay. I'm getting a very strong hum. Now what I had to do here is I had to change my screensaver back to the old screensaver, because when you use XSplit they want I can't remember the theme, but it's a different kind of screensaver that's supposed to cut down on this stuff with the the looping and just whatever. But because I'm working with pictures right now, I have to save things in bitmap in order to be able to use Paint without any, hopefully, problems. Because what I'm going to do here now, all right, I should be able to pull this up. I am not sure. I have to give it a second. This is what I'm assuming. So we're gonna, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and do some comparison pictures here anyway, in light of what I did last night. So I need to see if it's showing. Okay, so that's working, right? But because I'm only working with the one computer, all I can do is assume that you can hear me. You should be able to. Okay, so my water is working right. My water is boiling here. So I don't know. Maybe I should go turn off the water. Hold on a minute. I'm not going to be able to use any magnifying glass or any of that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to work with paint for now. And I'm not going to go through all the pictures that I have. This is one of the first ones, right? Let's just see. Let's open up the first one. So these are all bitmaps. So I'm assuming that this is what this is. So no, there. That's the first one. So what we're going to do, right? We're going to do something similar here. We're going to come in and we are going to resize it. Resizing works better than zoom, right? Zoom tends to distort, where resizing not so much. And we're going to resize it by 400 because I want to know what's on her eyebrow. That's the first thing. I also want to see if I can see that bruise somewhere along the line as I work with these pictures over the next little while, because these pictures, these videos were taken, this one here with this one right here with her now at like her phone went off at 10:06 in the morning. 6:10, sorry. 10 minutes after 6 in the morning, because the disgruntled ex called her and told her that he was coming by. And because she was up all night with the baby, you know, and prior to that, he was going on about how his mother's house got robbed and he couldn't really stay there. And he was kind of like trying to hide out here. I'm telling her to tell him to get lost. And, you know, he's always creeping my yard, people. Always creeping my yard. So anyway, she let him in. By 6:30 in the morning, I heard her singing to the baby in Tisha's room. I found that kind of odd, but whatever. Maybe Tisha got home earlier because Tisha wasn't home, right? But I was in the bedroom converting over a video, and that's how I knew she was in Tisha's room, because Andre's room is right above Tisha's room, and ShaMay was in that room singing to the baby at 6:30 in the morning. And then by 7 o'clock, I heard the girls talking together as I was going in and out of the bedroom, right, working on this video or doing whatever I was doing, because I had gotten up for whatever reason real early and I had done a video like at 5:30 in the morning. And then I went to convert it, and then that's when I heard ShaMay singing. And as I was going back and forth converting the video, that's when I heard the girls talking. So by this time, though, Julian must have been in ShaMay's bedroom by 6:30. And she just took the baby and went into Tisha's room. And then when Tisha got home, the girls talked for an hour, right? We're making plans to go spend some time with an African family and have a sleepover and all this stuff, right? And, you know, and just whatever. And ShaMay said, okay, I've been up all night, which she was, people, looking after the baby. You're home now. I'm going into the living room and I'm going to have a smoke and I'm going to go get some sleep. Because she was going to get up, people, and then leave the house and go get her passport signed by the people who couldn't sign it on Tuesday. ShaMay was murdered Wednesday morning. Okay? That was the plan. Get some sleep, get up, and go get her passport signed. Because she had the money, everything ready, but she just needed the signatures. But the people who were supposed to sign it on Tuesday, they weren't working. One wasn't working, and so she was going to meet up with 2 people on Wednesday to have them sign the passport, and then she was going to drop it off. That never happened, though, people, because she went into the living room, she had a smoke, she did her last Snapchat, and somebody came up and fucking hot capped her. Blindsided her and hot capped her at around 8:30 in the morning or so. Probably like within like fucking 10 minutes to 9. Because the thing with fentanyl is it's pretty much instant. Right? So anyway, then from there, you know, blah, 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 right? So these pictures that we're looking at here is right before she died. As hospital staff, by the time her body gets to the hospital, even though it was dead, we're going around calling her a drug addict. A closet drug addict who basically did it to herself because she should have known better. To derail from what they did to her body, people. That's the only reason. They have to create the distraction so that you're not paying attention to what they're doing. And in ShaMay's case, they harvested her organs, took out her teeth, and then they illegally embalmed her, right? And then they lied to numbers and numbers of people as they were going in and out about how well they were looking after ShaMay because she was so sick. Yeah, they're the sick ones, people. And this is why I'm doing it. Okay, because this is a sickness. If there's any super bugs coming from hospitals, it's because of the shit that they do to people like ShaMay. We were all required to put on gloves and a smock because she had a super bug on her body. And I said, super bug? Where the hell did she get a super bug? You know how the nurse explained it away? Oh, well, you know, it's kind of common. Everybody has it. It's in the environment. But just to be sure, you know, it's been confirmed she has it on her skin. So you really have to wear the gloves and the gown. Yeah, okay. Anyway, to cut with the chase, I'm not here to tell the story. I'm here to look at the face. And I'm looking for those little pock marks. I'm looking for a bruise, right? Because I can isolate a bruise on those pictures as she's laying up on that bed. Okay? Now, what I want you to notice is how white her eyes are, people. Okay? You have to remember, I was being, I don't even know what to call it. You know, nurses arguing with me, social worker arguing with me about how my daughter had done drugs at 8 o'clock in the morning with a house full of people after she sat up all night looking after the baby, right? Just so that they could cover their fucking asses as to what they did to my daughter's body. They weren't interested in knowing the truth. They were too busy covering it up. That's what they were doing, people. Now, obviously, the magnification is not strong enough here, right? Obviously, I don't have, what is it called? I don't have, you know, this. All I have is paint. and I'm doing it through live. I just wanted to see what the results would be. So now I'm going to resize it by another 300 and we're going to see what we get. Okay? Now I can't change the resolution on this or the exposure because that's a different program. There we go. Now I have to hunt for it. We know the routine. Nothing good comes easy. It all takes time. This isn't a botched job. Right? The only thing I'm looking for is justice for my family and for my dead daughter. Somebody who didn't deserve this, people. Okay, there's the famous eyebrow. Because I'm wondering if ShaMay had, like she had a pierced tongue, like a tongue piercing. And she had a belly button piercing. But I don't ever recall her having one of those. Now, I don't see it here. We should be able to see it, people. Okay? It either happened at the hospital because they used staples, like a staple gun, and something went in and snagged itself to hold because that part of her face was sliding off. That's what dead bodies do. They break away. Okay? Or maybe they sutured something. Who knows, Like I said, I honestly believe that they took off her scalp, cut her skull cap, took out her fucking brain, stuffed in their styrofoam. Literally, unlike Uncle John. They stuffed his brain with styrofoam, but it wasn't in the literal sense. But with ShaMay, it was. Okay? And then they put it back, and then because of the decomposition, everything was just, out of control. So I could see them going back in from behind and trying to fucking suture up their shit. As they continued to lie to everybody that walked through the door, except for maybe the culprits. The culprits were just coming in with their money bags, making donations to the ICU ward. Right? For more dead bodies so that they could pick and choose what they want for their loved ones. In terms of money laundering, dirty money, right? To buy dirty organs. Like literally, people. Like this is the shit that's going on, okay? And people need to fucking wake up and start protecting themselves from this. Because otherwise, if we don't, the only thing that's going to happen is your children, well, there actually are. They're being targeted at birth as they're coming out of your vaginas. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait, and they wait until the right opportunity comes along to harvest them. And the more you allow that kind of criminal activity to take root in your community, in your province, in your state, the more apt it's going to continue to happen en masse, on scale. Her eyes don't look too bloodshot to me, people. For somebody that was up doing drugs all night holding a baby, like, think about it. She wasn't doing drugs, people. She was being responsible. I sent her down. I didn't realize she was going to get murdered. I wanted her to grow up and be responsible for her baby. Okay? Lots of moms have to, deal with a baby that has their first cold with a little bit of a fever. She needed to gain confidence. She needed to stand on her own 2 feet. She needed to learn those skills without me doting over her. If she really needed me, she knew where I was. But it wasn't her that ran up the stairs. Oh, come down, quick, 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 quick. Right? It was that guy. I went downstairs thinking something was wrong with the baby. And what do I find? bubbles and bubbles coming out of my daughter's mouth and bubbles coming out of my daughter's nose on both nostrils, with her laying there gray as a freaking ash pit. With a bunch of dirty fucking public union sectors coming into my house and being complete scoundrels. It's not something you just let go easy, people, okay? Not when you have other family members that are just as much at risk to have what happened to ShaMay happen to them. Do you know how vulnerable Amari is? He is so vulnerable, people. It was like he was injured for the purpose of, to satisfy the hunger of these, I don't know what these people are that do this shit. And if there are any superbugs being spread around in the community, it's because of this kind of crap, people. If a supermarket did this, the supermarket would be shut down. Everybody, 4 million people would be in a fucking uproar. But not for ShaMay. No. Everybody's quiet for ShaMay. Nobody wants to talk about ShaMay, right? Because, you know, why? Why? If it was fucking meat hanging like this in a fucking grocery store and you were made to pay for it, would you buy it? No? You'd be go crying to management. And if management didn't fucking do something about it, you'd be going to your local MLA. You'd be causing a stink. You'd be going to all the newspapers. You'd make sure that place was fucking shut down. How is a hospital any more different? They don't have absolutely no right to treat bodies like this, people. They play on your emotions. They accuse your loved ones of things that they didn't fucking do just to get you angry and defensive, so that you're focused on defending them versus fucking finding out the fucking truth, because they're too busy lying to you about the truth. This is their story. This is how morbid their story is, people. I'm not ashamed. They should be ashamed. And they should be shut down. Some of these people need to go to fucking jail. Literally, they need to go to jail. They need to lose their pension plans. They need to lose their dental and healthcare packages. They need to lose their superannuation life insurance policies. Right? They need to be fucking fired and ran out of town. Because if you don't start doing that with these kind of people, then you might as well fucking put your child up on the fucking auction block and just wait for your turn. It might not happen when they're little. ShaMay was 22. Look how long it took for them to snag ShaMay. But how many times did they try and fucking derail her? Make her feel shitty about herself, right? Andre, right? They sure the hell didn't help her in the fucking school system. I already told you that 3 fucking times they fucked her over. Because that's not the agenda. The agenda is have incestuous marriages within their own fucking little cliques so they can keep the money, the public tax dollars money, within the family. And get rid of the competition. ShaMay was competition. They didn't need a fucking educated nurse from Canada. Hell no. All they got is fucking 15 boats coming in with nurses from every fucking country under the sun. Third world countries, mind you. That's competition. Those nurses don't want competition. You think those nurses are going to stand up for fucking ShaMay? Hell no. No, what they were doing is they were covering up the evidence that she was dead. That's what those nurses were doing, people. As they were spreading their superbug around town. And then they come in with, well, it was coronavirus. It's coronavirus. How the fuck do we know it's coronavirus? Probably came off some dead body. Like, this is serious. You can't mess with people's lives like this and then expect to get a fucking away with it. ShaMay did absolutely nothing to these people. Nothing. She didn't even fucking know them. So what gives them the right to do this shit, people? There is no right. Now I'm zooming in. We're on a mission. And I'm going to do this offline with my camera. You don't have to watch the video. Nobody's asking you to come and watch it. But I will end up doing it, okay? With my magnifying glass. With magnifying glass on magnifying glass. To get the fucking evidence. So that no matter what happens to me, nobody can fucking say it ain't real. Do you see any pockmarks in there? I don't. Now maybe I'm missing something. Maybe. I don't know. But doesn't look like it to me. I got 40 fucking pictures to choose from here yet, people. So if they're there before she showed up in the hospital, we're going to find out about it, okay? And if they're there before she showed up in the hospital, then it probably had something to do with some old piercing that I'm not even aware of. Because that's the only other thing that I could think of what it could possibly be. And then, of course, I want to know, see, right here. I don't know if you can see my little mouse moving around. I'm looking for a bruise. Because the coroner's office said, oh, the forensic autopsy person there said she had no bruise, but with those images with her being in that hospital bed, I can prove that she had a fucking bruise. Okay? Which means that guy gave her that bruise that week and a half or whatever it was when that banging on the wall was happening and the phone was ringing and I wake up and I'm hanging off the bed and I'm listening and everything just stops. He probably hit her in the fucking head and maybe that's why she was so sick for 2 days. She had a concussion. But of course, we'll never get the truth about that because by the time ShaMay's body went for the autopsy, there was no brain to look at. It was either taken out or liquefied. One or the other. So how the fuck would they know? They wouldn't know. And they sure were in a hurry to cover up the evidence, people. Are you listening to me? And I don't care if the fucking cops are watching over there in the alley with their little spyware. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're federal fucking assholes that need to go back from the fucking town that you came from and get the hell out of fucking BC. I'm with the mayor now. Mayor McCullum? Fucking fire the RCMP. Get rid of them. They're fucking rotten. They're completely fucking rotten. You depend on the police to protect you, but they're fucking rotten. This mayor that we got right now, he wants to bring in his own police force. Well, you know what? You got my vote on that one. Oh yeah, after this, fucking right. Fuck the RCMP. Royal Canadian Mounted Police. No wonder why you have no horses. You don't fucking deserve it. Take the fucking horses off your stupid cars, right? Your toys. Because that's all it is. You drive around in a fucking toy. You're not even a real fucking man. You can't even do a real fucking job. So anyway, that could be a bruise there, people. That could be. Which, if it is a bruise, then that bruise is directly related to, what you call it? That night when I was woke up with all that banging and shit on the wall with the phone ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing. And then it got real fucking quiet. And because my son was down there, I thought if ShaMay was in a real dire emergency, he'd save her. But didn't hear anything. He probably knocked her out. fucking punched her out. That's what he fucking did. Assuming that that's a bruise there. But I'm not going to know until I take that video, or I'm sorry, that picture. I'm not going to know until I take that picture to my other program. Right in here, people. In that other program. And change the exposure on it. Right? For what it's worth. You can see it. It's right in here. It's a discoloration. So it's possible she had that bruise before she was murdered. And that's another thing. His crazy fucking sister is back at it with her fucking antics. Like, seriously, like, this girl is something sick when her 2 years later she's still stalking me. Go have your own baby. Go start your own life like everybody else on the planet does. You're nobody special. Okay, so there's that one. We're just going to go through this quickly. Open up a new one. We don't want to save it. Now I'm going to open up a new one. You should be able to see what I'm doing here. Okay, and you see, I'm not going to go through every one of them because there's something like 40 pictures here. But I will choose this one, and we're going to do the same thing. Because that's the whole purpose of this video, technically, is I'm looking for certain things. Right? But I am going to take it to the camera, and I am going to use the magnifying glass. And like I said, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Right? If you don't want to accept the truth, that's your problem, not mine. If you think you can do a better job, then by all means, do a better job. If you think you can disprove what I'm saying, go ahead. I challenge you to do so. Yeah. So now we're at 400. Right. Obviously, not enough. If I zoom in, it tends to distort. But in this case, we'll just zoom in for now. Let's see what we get. See, if you do it this way, you don't get so many pixels, right? But then you also don't get those real fine little details, right? That if you do it with the magnifying glass and, you know, move everything up nice and slow, right? Then, yeah, for sure, it gets like, okay, so do you see pock marks, people? I don't see pock marks. I don't see them. You know, maybe I should be using a magnifying glass on my end. I'm just going to zoom in some more. Changing resolution to exposure will help to isolate that as well. But I don't see any actual pock marks, right? It's concaving in, right? It's caving in. I think it's called concave, isn't it? When it's caving in. I don't see pock marks here. All right. Can we just bring in another one? We'll go on to this one here. Just going to go through this quickly. Don't save that one. We're just looking at them quick. Right? I just wanted to see if this would work. Now this one I'm going to resize. I like I said, I prefer to resize I'm going to do 550 on this one. Let's see what we get. Oh, it's not a valid number. It only works in hundreds. All right. Takes a moment. We'll resize again. I think the max is like only 300, 800, I think. So 5 and 3 is 8. Right. You have to give it time. At least maybe why the sound on that video was looping. If she had bloodshot eyes looking stoned, you see it. Nothing stoned about her. ShaMay wasn't irresponsible. She wasn't going to sit there, look after a sick baby, with his first real cold, higher than a fucking kite. But for a professional nurse stealing organs, I guess that story makes sense. And anyone else that wants to collaborate with a person like that. Do you see any pockmarks, people? I don't see any pockmarks. I don't see it. Okay? So we're going to zoom in. Because it would be right up in here. And there are no little gullies. What about that bruise? Again, I don't know about the bruise. Because for something like that, you have to get up into the exposure. And I can prove that she had a bruise. Because I've already seen it and documented it. I just don't know if she had it after the fact or before. For all I know, they could have dropped her on the floor. They probably did in their rush to cover up their evidence. Yeah. Okay. It's enough to drive you mad. See, I don't expect to get justice at the courthouse because they've already kind of proven themselves with Uncle John. Right? So now we're going to go into these pictures here. We're just going to do a few more randoms. I'm not going to be here all night doing this. I just wanted to see, first of all, if I could do it. Obviously, I can. I just can't use the magnifying glass. So we're going to... Now, this is when she was in the living room. This was after she was done talking to her sister for over an hour. Her sister got home at 7. The girls talked in Tisha's room till 8 or so. And then ShaMay went into the living room, had a smoke, did her Snapchat. Paige, one of her best friends, seen the Snapchat, people. Because Paige was just getting up to go to work. And then an hour later, she was dead. She died sitting up. Tisha thought ShaMay was snoring when in fact ShaMay was in the middle of a death rattle and died with Tisha sitting there thinking ShaMay was snoring as that man came out, stood over ShaMay, right? And it completely ignored it because he hot capped her, people, then ran off down the fucking hall, and then he got scared, and when Tisha started switching over laundry, he snuck his ass back, and he moved her dead body, but that's what caught him, because ShaMay had urinated and defecated while sitting up. She died sitting up. We have evidence of that. I'll show you the stains on the futon one day. But he moved her body between 9 and 9:10 because when Tisha was done doing laundry, she went out and noticed that ShaMay wasn't sitting up no more. But dead bodies don't lay themselves down, people. And then he left her there for 50 minutes, hoping that Tisha would find her. And because Tisha never came out of her bedroom because she was looking after the baby so that her sister could sleep, he got scared because he knew that rigor mortis stuff was going to set in. And her body temperature was going to change to the ambient temperature because he had done his fucking research and he knew what he was doing. Okay. And that's what the cops are ignoring. Because at the end of the day, ShaMay was worth $500,000 on the black market for her organs, her teeth, and all that other crap. And being that the RCMP are involved, it must be a federal problem. And that's why we have fentanyl throughout every fucking province in Canada. Because it's a federal problem. It wasn't local cops that came to my house. It was the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They're the ones that facilitated the whole thing. And they tried to cover it up. By ignoring evidence, destroying evidence, accusing ShaMay of being a drug addict, accusing ShaMay of killing herself, and then accusing ShaMay of dying by accident, and then said, fuck off. Case closed. Fuck off. As the top dog coroner of British Columbia, Canada, covered their asses. Because she was in on it too. Because it's a public union sector problem. That's why we're called sheeple. That's why we're called cattle. Right? That's why we're called breeders and eaters and every other fucking defamatory freaking label they have for us. Because somehow they're genetically superior. The only thing that makes them genetically superior is they're fucking experts at robbing the public. Now, is that a bruise? I don't know. I don't know. Do you see any pock marks? What is that? I don't know. This is another thing I want you to notice. If you look, oh there, also too, look at her eyes. Do they look like they're strung out? Doing cocaine all night? Celebrating before she goes to college? Does it look like that, people? Right? Because that's what they said she was doing. She was celebrating. She'd go to college in 12 days. She was sneaking around, right? Behind the bookshelf, snorting coke, and then go chat with her sister before she went to sleep. Okay. Do you see here underneath the nose? Do you see any black in there? I don't see nothing black, people. Do you? I don't see nothing black. Her skin looks pretty damn clean to me. Right? But do you see the distance from underneath her nose to her lip? Look at the distance. Do you see her teeth? I see teeth. But this distance here, that's a fair amount of distance, people. Because ShaMay had big teeth. When you compare that to the pictures of her being in the hospital with their little thin strips of whatever, half her fucking lip is gone. With no teeth. Like, I don't know what these people expect people like me to do. Like, seriously. You know? Because they mock you. They completely mock you. They rub it in your face. Right? They taunt you with it. They enjoy it. Because nothing stops them, people. Absolutely nothing stops them. And that's why they continue to do it. Do you see any pockmarks there? I don't see any pockmarks, people. If they're there, we'd see them by now because the magnification on this is pretty damn strong. Okay? Now this here, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to go back into some of her other pictures, her more recent ones, because the only other thing that I could possibly think of is it was like a, you know, whatever you call those little eyebrow things. Right? An old wound, you know, like a scar. But even if it was a scar tissue, it wouldn't be like that. Right? Do her eyes look red to you people? They don't look red to me. If she was doing drugs, her eyes would be all bloodshot by this time. But of course, cops don't want to acknowledge that, right? Because they're too busy drooling over the fucking money. Right? For every body that comes in fresh and clean, that's just more money. That's all that is. They don't even see us as human beings. That's why they're so fucking out of control these days, going around shooting people, beating them up, fucking tasering them to death, right? Hanging them in jails, running them over. God knows what cops do these days, but they're fucking out of control, especially in the United States. Hell, you can't even be in your house without a fucking cop rolling up and fucking shooting you through the window. Like, come on. Because you have your door open. Right? Because you have your door open at 2 o'clock in the morning because your house is hot because you live in fucking Texas or wherever the hell it is and it's freaking hot, and you leave your door open as you're sitting in the living room playing Nintendo, and cop fucking comes to your window and shoots you dead. And nobody does anything about it. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. These are just comparison pictures. So, what is this? It looks more like a bump to me, if anything. It's hard to say. It's her hair, right? But no, nothing, you know, going in. Not in this picture. So, we're just going to pick a few more random, like, I got lots to choose from. Can you see? See how many I did? I'm not going to go through them all with you. Not right now, anyway. Because I'm annoyed. Right? Again, I prefer to resize. You don't have to watch if you don't want. Nobody's holding your feet to the fire. I'm sure you got better things to do in your life than to pretend that you care. All right. Tell me where the bloodshot eyes are, people. Her eyes are clear as day. Can you see her teeth? Look at that. Now look at the distance from underneath her nose to her lip. You're looking at over an inch, people, because ShaMay had beautiful, strong teeth. And then you've got her teeth yet, up and below, right? So where's her teeth with my other videos? Because she has none. That's why I'm doing this. I'm showing you. See, I'm not going to let these guys worm their way out of this one. Nope. They're not worming their way out of this one. And then let the people get away with it. They may have sacrificed ShaMay, but I didn't. And they can't say shit about me putting her on display because they were the first ones to do that. They had her on display for 9 fucking days. The most expensive funeral in all of BC. Anybody could walk in at any time, and the social workers made sure that they argued with us so that we understood the rules. As they lied to us about ShaMay being ill. Quote unquote alive. But because they were social workers and nurses, somehow that made them right. Because the government that employs them said so. And when that didn't work, all they had to do was call in the big boys, the cops, and the cops will set you straight. Because that's what cops do. They protect the public. But before they'll protect you, they'll protect their fucking co-workers, partners in crime. And that's why they're all birds of a feather that flock together. Yep. And that's why this happened to ShaMay. Do you see pockmarks? I don't see pockmarks, people. Where's the bloodshot eyes? I don't see bloodshot eyes. Can we see a bruise? I have to find my mouse. Disappears. It's suspicious. It's hard to say. So we're not going to worry about the bruise until I can take this into another program and change the exposure. Because if the bruise is there, it will show. And if there is a bruise, I know when she got it. It was that night when the phone was ringing off the frickin' hook and the banging on the wall, and then everything went silent. And because she didn't mention anything to me about it the next day, I didn't push it. And maybe that's why she was so sick, because she had a concussion. And the fentanyl was just the ice, what is it called? The icing on the cake. Hit them on the head, you know, whatever, and then just fucking hot cap them a week later. Because that's basically what would have happened. Do you see her teeth? Look how nice and white and strong they were. You can't miss them, people. Upper or lower. You can't miss them. But while in the hospital, you don't see any. Absolutely none. There's her nose. Do you see any dead, rotten, black skin crawling on her body? I don't. Do you see? We're just picking random ones right now.